Hello, everyone. So the chapter that Harper, Donovan, Louisa, Ellie, and I were assigned was chapter 13, and that's all about delivery. And you can go to the next slide, wherever they're at. All right, so you're going to be asking yourself, well, what is good delivery? And good delivery, it doesn't necessarily call attention to itself, but it helps convince the audience to their opinion on that topic. And you're going to wonder, well, what's that about? And that's about nonverbal communication. Your nonverbal communication is the way that the speaker uses their voice and their body without necessarily the particular words that they're saying. And through the many things that we're going to be going over in the speech, we got the various methods of delivery, the many aspects of the speaker's voice and body, how to practice for delivery, and how to practice for a Q&A session. And you could go to the next slide. So, before you can master the art of delivery like Amazon, you're going to want to know these four methods. So the first method is read enough of a manuscript. Now, you're going to want to use this when word for word accuracy is essential, but it could also take away from the speech if you're just reading it like this and you're reading instead of talking. An example of when this could be used is a president trying to pass a bill to Congress, and they're going to want to make sure that all their words are correct and all their ducks are in order, right? And they're going to want to make sure that they're able to convey their message while still trying to convince them at the same time. And they'll typically have like a teleprompter up there, but they're still going to want to try to have that connection. Another example is, let's say I'm a business that's going to be on the stock market and you guys are the investors today, and I have a big green arrow pointing upwards for all my profits. You guys are going to want to make sure that I know my information. I know all my numbers. I know everything about the business, because otherwise you guys aren't going to invest in my company if I don't even know what I'm talking about. So those are the times that you use those. But the pro of speaking from a manuscript is you can just you can read it. You don't have to think of new words on the spot. But the con is you're going to still have to try to focus on making that connection with the audience rather than just reading. So the second method of delivery is reciting from memory. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you're able to remember your entire speech from memory and still be able to have a connection with the audience, I would say go for it. I don't know what Miss Burnside would say, but I would say go for it. But the pro of reciting from memory is you don't have to think of new words, but the con is you have to think of old words. So as long as you're not staring off into space, then I'd say go for it. So the third method of delivery is speaking impromptu, and that is an unplanned and unrehearsed speech, but you'll typically be knowledgeable on that topic. So for an example, we have a political debate, and we have the moderator and the two people in politics who hopefully know something about politics. You never know these days, but they know a little bit. All right, so we have the moderator asking them questions, and they're going to have to formulate a quick response. Now, you're going to wonder, how do they even think of those responses? Well, there's a step-by-step thing that they can do. So the first step is to state the question that they're answering. So if there's any discrepancies in their interpretation of the question, they could figure that out right away. Then they're going to want to state the point that they're trying to make. So whatever opinion they have on that topic. And then their third thing they're going to want to do is to provide examples, statistics, or testimonies to help support the argument. Then the fourth thing is they're just going to want to summarize it all up in one big package. And another time you could do an impromptu speech is like a toast at a wedding. So hopefully you know a little bit about them. We hope. And so the pro of speaking impromptu is it's a test of your spontaneous response. But the con is it can be kind of nerve-wracking because it's not rehearsed. And the exact opposite of a not rehearsed speech is speaking extemporaneously. So that's a carefully planned out speech, and it's well thought out, very well planned, and you can kind of bring it wherever you want. You're very knowledgeable on that topic, and you've rehearsed it quite a bit. So the pro is that you're in control. You can bring it wherever. But the con is it's a lot of preparation, but it will make the speech really good if you're able to perform it well. So you can go to the next slide about Kids Need Recess by Simon Link and watch that. All right, so at this point, you have watched the video by Simon Link. Now, one thing I love about Simon is his introduction of him slaying that dragon and that recess teacher interrupting him. Very, very rude. but you can tell that he cares about the subject that he's talking about, probably because he's a target audience. But he's very interested in that topic. He even has statistics to bring it, to back it up with him, and I'm even interested in what he's talking about. And what he's using there is reciting from memory. You can tell because he kind of gazes off into space a little bit to try to remember. But in this circumstance, it doesn't take away from the speech because he has such good nonverbal communication. And with that, it's his voice and his body that he's talking about, that I'm talking about. And then you can go to the next slide.